Hello, and welcome to another episode of me playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set, starting as the Duke of Champagne in 1178. So we've been through quite a lot in this campaign so far, losing all of our lands early on, a long period of being landless, getting the tiny Duchy of Bar, questions about whether we'd be able to use that as a base to expand, eventually expanding somewhat, now being in a relatively stronger position. Next goal that we're really looking for here is to find an existing king title we can get a claim on, take over that king title, and get our lands out from under the king of Lotharingia. As you can see here, the king of Lotharingia is just very powerful. He's also about 18 years younger than I currently am, though he is obese, not surprising given that he's gluttonous, and I almost certainly will die before he does. Obviously, at the end of the world, my heir takes over, who's a pretty good martial character. Perhaps most importantly, he has this excellent son here who will be able to strengthen our bloodlines and make the rest of our dynasty much more powerful and effective. But for now, we're still looking into what is the best place to go to try to get a king title. And one option certainly is here in Bavaria, currently ruled by a 6-year-old. He hasn't developed any personality traits yet. I can't excommunicate him because he's younger than 12, and even if he were older, you can see that the Pope likes him and so would not excommunicate him. So really, we have to hope that he develops some sinful traits, sadistic, gluttonous, something of that nature, lustful, and then we would be able to hopefully get a claim on his title from the Pope. We're a stewardship character. We don't have any points in learning, so we don't have sanctioned loopholes. Can't go that way. In terms of looking where we want to expand, the places around us that we could go are quite powerful. Phrygia is another option, but you can see that they are quite strong, just a huge amount of gold. And so we really, are sort of, besides Bavaria, I don't know that there is a great existing king title that we could lay claim to. So I think to facilitate Bavaria, we are on total exclave independence, meaning that when I die, any lands that are not connected either by land or sea to the territory my capital is will become independent. That's one reason we now have claims to Puttligen and Saarbrücken. We will use those claims as soon as we can to attack this guy, and that should connect up our lands here. But in terms of going toward Bavaria, we would, if we were to get the Kingdom of Bavaria title, we would want it to connect it up with our lands over here in Lotharingia, Bar, Lower Lotharingia, and soon Upper Lotharingia. And to do that, we'll need to attack our co-vassals under this massive Empire of Francia that was originally assembled by Henry II and is still surviving under a number of different rulers. Recently had some rulers overthrown, including a very young child who briefly ruled it. And so the two duchies we need to go through really are Alsace and Swabia. See, at the moment Swabia is not that strong, but the one that's closest to us, Alsace, it is very strong, but the ruler is 58, in poor health. He has cancer. He's also malnourished. Let's pin him so we keep an eye on him. In the meantime, I think we go ahead and fabricate a claim on one of the counties in Alsace and start getting ready to attack it once, once, their current powerful ruler dies. Okay, we might as well take this. As for us, we are, I think we're in good shape, except for the fact that we're quite old and also blind. But again, we have the succession relatively well set up. At the moment, we'd be losing the county of Cologne to our second son, which we certainly don't want. I think we'll be able to find some ways to get around that, hopefully. And ultimately, if he does take Cologne, we'll live with it. We have other territories, as useful as that one is. Our current heir, we've already landed him. He has, 3 counties. So I think we're in good shape for our heirs, and we'll continue on. Fabricating this claim. Let's also look at our domain. Okay, we're building. One place we already look like we have maxed out. Guess the only question would be, do want prestige, so let's get the prestige, I think. Well, yeah, let's do that. Try it at least. Okay. I guess the one question is, do we want to replace any of these buildings? And maybe the cattle pastures if we can build a water mill. Yeah, I think we go with this. The water mills just make significantly more gold than the cattle pastures, and you can see otherwise that we are limited. We've maxed out the number of buildings that we can have. Grand tournaments. Unfortunately, we're both a woman and blind, so we're not going to be able to make good use of them anymore. We are getting closer to being able to take over the last counties in Upper Lotharingia, so that's good. Same thing here. Let's see if we can get water wheels. We cannot. So we'll leave cattle alone for the moment. Instead, load up our windmills. I believe you can build windmills in almost every county if you have the technology, but water wheels are more limited. We are nominally in a crusade at the moment. Don't even know where they're attacking actually. Oh, Romania here, yes. You see, this is a okay. Scroll out here. So the original Holy Roman Empire had fallen apart. We see Francia has now taken that over. Alright, I can't vote for myself. I wonder if I can vote for my son. We don't have to vote for anyone. But the fact that we now have the Holy Roman Empire gives us, our dynasty over the long term another path to power, because we could potentially be elected Holy Roman Emperor. So, all good stuff, really. And not terribly surprising. This often happens in games, that if the original Holy Roman Empire collapses, another one is formed to succeed it. So you see this is a massive battle in the Crusades. Crusaders are losing. I mean, they had enough forces around that if they would have all joined in, they could have won that battle. But I think anyone who's played Crusader Kings for a while know that Crusaders often don't coordinate very well. Wait, what? So, that is interesting. Looks like I don't get that. The person who had the Duchy of Lotharingia, or the Kingdom of Lotharingia, destroyed it, apparently. That is very odd. I genuinely don't know why, but that is, of course, great news for us, because what can we do? We can recreate it, and that will make us a queen. And so there we go. That's really what we wanted, is we wanted a king level title, and now we have one. There is an interesting question of, given our age, do we want to do a coronation? I think probably so. Let's let the time run forward a bit. We will commence with our crown. We will click off some of these for very likely to be awarded vassals like Brabrant and so forth, as well as Upper Lotharingia, which we had planned on attacking. But I think overall this is quite good news. Let's see here, we can grab some gold here. Let's see what our succession looks like. Okay, we could fix that if we wanted to by slapping a feudal elective title on it. Let's get all these vassals in and then take a look at what our succession looks like then. So maybe we shouldn't have accepted those vassals. Yeah, I never really even thought about the idea of not accepting them. So let's see what we can do here. Make sure our armies are all max size. Let's take a look at what his armies look like. Yes, pikemen, which we heavily counter. Don't counter his light footmen. We do counter his crossbowmen. We do counter everything else he has. He's really relying on the strength of his allies. Oh, we should be able to build retinue vanguard, which are extremely powerful. So we'll make as many of them as we can right now. Want our crown to impress our vassals. Let's also let's do that because I don't want to blow all that gold. Let's get our artifacts in place here. Also look at what sort of court we have. I think we're probably better with the scholarly court, but I don't know if we can change that right now. Let's increase some of our amenities at least a bit here. I mean, we are making a good amount of gold, so I think that looks good for now. Let's make sure our Chancellor is on domestic affairs. Guess one question, well, then we should put the guy on our council, obviously. What is he good at? He's quite good at martial, so happy to put him on there. Let's see about other powerful vassals. Don't need to worry about our son. So can we bribe him in a month? poor health. That's because he's wounded. Presumably he will recover. Oh, okay. Well, we'll give you some money to go away. I think that should take care of him. Guess we'll continue to fabricate some claims on Alsace. Are there other wars we could declare? People near us? Thought we may have had a claim on the Duchy of Flanders, actually. And we do. Okay, let's get coordinated, let things calm down, and we'll probably expand by taking Flanders. Okay, good. Now you can see we are making quite a bit of gold. Let's see what our succession looks like. Okay, sort of similar as before. That's okay. Okay, can't get out of war. We'll see about maybe adding some feudal elective titles that will make sure all of our important counties go to our eldest son. Meantime, let's save up some gold for our coronation. It's possible we will get the ensure peace option. But I guess since we're actually at war, don't know. I don't know if you can get ensure peace when you're actively at war. So for this one, typically, as you've seen, I go with the second option just because it's so much more gold. But at this point, I think I'll still go with all that gold. Okay, our crown is underwhelming. I just really like gold. What can I say? I think we do want to impress attendees. Man, this is expensive. Well, okay. We are in the late Middle Ages, so activities have much more expensive than earlier in the game. We will try to get maximum magnificence and have all our vassals like us, so that some of our that positive opinion modifier toward us will transfer over to our son. Let's look at our grandsons here and give them good personality traits. Hopefully. Yep. Let's also build up our retinue vanguard. Probably be our strongest regiment. That's an interesting decision for a couple of reasons. One being that so far away from Castile, the other being that this guy is a scourge conqueror, and so he could take entire kingdoms if he wanted to. So I'm not really sure why he's taking a county, but okay. It is a bit concerning. I assume his forces are significantly more powerful than... Huh. Yeah, the Holy Roman Empire, maybe. I mean, the Holy Roman Empire has a lot of gold. Though this Scourge Conqueror also has a lot of gold. I mean, it'd be an interesting question of who would win if, the AI performed well in wars and sort of really knew what it was doing. Who's Duke Julian? Burgundy? Burgundy, okay. He's quite powerful. It would be helpful to have him as an ally, so sure. So we got another alliance out of this. Okay. Try to do a learn language scheme. For this, I usually not terribly interested in these sorts of giving people sanction war declarations, so we'll just go with the option to significantly increase our magnificence. Still think prayer for wealth is good here. Our stewardship focused character. Good to get as much wealth as we can. Not sure she's that ghastly. I mean, she's known as the desired, lusted over far and wide. That's because she's beautiful. But obviously now she is quite old and blind. So take this quite underwhelming crown. We're not going to need to demand conversion from anyone, hopefully. I guess if some heresy breaks out, but I think we'll just go with the bottom one. Take this crown. So this is an interesting one. I mean, I've talked before about I really like Ensure Peace. It gives development to all the counties in your realm. It also gives your character a permanent +1 domain limit. Again, this character is quite old. By the time he finishes it, should be 73. Expand the realm, we require 8 counties. I mean, many of those we could get from attacking Flanders over here. I think simply because of the age of our character and the fact that we can expand the realm with only 8 counties really sort of leads me to want to do that. If she were 30, I think Ensure Peace would be the easy choice. Just thinking through, I don't even know that I'll be able to do Ensure Peace in time. I mean, probably she lives till her mid to late 70s, but I mean, you can argue for Ensure Peace because the you get a somewhat permanent bonus in terms of the extra development. Of course, that's going to be subject to plagues, particularly the Black Death. We are on random Black Death, unlimited, so we can have a Black Death at any time. It's really between Expand the Realm and Ensure Peace. I mean, we could ensure peace, attack Flanders, take it over just because it's such an easy target, and then, you know, fulfill our oath. I think maybe that's the best choice. Talked before about, you know, if it doesn't cost me anything, I'm usually as happy to assent to requests from people. Hopefully this gets me to max magnificence, and it did. Faithful supporters. And there we go. And so, of course, we have pledged to be peaceful. But before peace, war. But before war, we wait. When does this? Oh, I guess we have to wait till it concludes. Right. Well, we're at war anyway. Okay, so that was, well, I mean, we're already at war, so the timer for the ensure peace isn't going to start ticking for quite a while. All right. We'll just wait then. I am curious here how much a taxation grantor is going to cost. Okay, only 3 vassals. It's going to cost a lot. Probably could have guessed that. You know, grantors are quite powerful, and they still usually pay for themselves, but currently the Christians are winning their crusade, but not clear for how much longer. That's a lot of armies fighting. And we also have 50 years to do ensure peace. I mean, obviously we're not going to live anywhere near that long, but we won't become an oath breaker. So let's see if we can either get a crossbow captain, or maybe let's invite some knights and see. Looking for a crossbow captain or maybe a lancer. Probably the crossbow captain, since we do have 2 regiments of crossbowmen. Okay, steward, sure, absolutely, have to do that. More gold, other bonuses, benefits. Generally don't go to other people's coronations. Because we sold titles, we did get a nice chunk of gold there. I mean, we could get Besieger with this guy. Let's see what our other knights look like. Not sure where the Crusaders are going or what they're doing. I'm sure I'm not the only person to say that. Obviously, I'm not going to have any more children. Doesn't look like you can do anything for alliance power. Don't want to marry a lowborn because of the penalties. Looks like the best option is my 17-year-old gay knight here. Okay, that's alright. Sure, why not? Guess he's related to me. Seclusion, and also isolate the capital if it's not already isolated. change our position to control plagues. Take a look if there's anyone else. I do usually like filling out the positions that keep me alive. Let's automate these since there's nothing sort of individualized that we want to check on them each time. Guess we get a court chronicler for the renown. Royal architect for the development growth. High almoner for more piety. Guess we can get a court poet. And we are making, very nice gold income, so see exactly how bad this plague is. Oh, it's bad. It is very bad. Apocalyptic cowpox plague. Check on our grandsons again. Fortunately, not letting us change his focus. This one we don't have to worry about it as much because he's military, which is what we want. Marshal. We could hold a feast. Won't make it too expensive. Just to lose stress. It looks like the plague is not going to come down to our capital, which is here, even though it is afflicting the northern reaches of our realm. Apparently the Crusaders are succeeding in the crusade, even though they seem to be running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Okay, well, there we go. So I think what we want to do is put a feudal elective on that title, then vote for our eldest son. I think that will... Okay. I think I'd rather have Cologne than Aachen, frankly. There's not much we can do because the Duchy of Jülich is already owned by someone. I'd like to give him a different title, but I don't think we can do that. Don't want to marry him to a mayor. That would actually cause him to go to the mayor's court and lose him. Don't know that we actually improved our accolades, really. I mean, besieger is an option. But a crossbow captain is what I really want. So we have 2 crossbow regiments, and they'll benefit from him. Max out our retinue vanguard. Make sure everything is maxed out. Okay. Maximize stress loss to completely de-stress here. Duchy of Orleans. A bit away. Could we get a title, a claim on this guy? No, we cannot. Why? Just, you know, we're playing on very high. He's reluctant, so could start swaying the Pope. I would like to grab Flanders here. Don't know if I want to send my men into the teeth of this plague, however. Courtiers would likewise have to go through plague-stricken areas, so we don't want to do that. Let's start swaying the Pope. Tough. I guess the Pope became his own Crusader King. Took all the land in the anointed kingdom of Romania. So after that successful crusade, we'll see how our peace oath is progressing. I mean, we could just wait to attack Flanders. Almost certainly going to be forgiving here because it is a virtue. This is our older grandson who I'm guessing is probably not going to be, where we won't eventually play as him. Instead, we want the younger grandson, who, as you can see here, will be able to strengthen the bloodlines. Another martial character. Very strong character overall. So I think the long-term outlook for our dynasty is in good shape. It's really sort of a matter of the Holy Roman Empire holding together. We have not looked at Alsace since its ruler died. We could certainly take this guy on. Can we get a claim on it? No, of course not. So we'll do it the hard way. We'll just see if we can fabricate some more claims. Take it over that way. Just have to see how long our ruler lives. At this point, might try to finish the ensure peace oath first before attacking anyone. Let's look at our buildings. Can we build something better than this? Well, we certainly can. Let's build some barracks to improve the strength of our armies. As we'll build the walls. Before we declare war, we'll take another look at where our regiments are appropriately stationed for the maximum benefit. Certainly did not want to pay him 2250. Didn't really want to give him a strong hook given that he's a vassal. So that left the risk of him becoming a rival. Oh, that's what the Empress holds. So no, we're not going to attack our Empress. At least not at the moment. Okay, so she has been excommunicated. Seems that Holy, it seems like whenever there's some huge emperor of Europe, that they often get excommunicated. Guess we'll abstain from wine. Now that's unfortunate because of the control loss. I'd like to do a grand tour depending on how many vassals I have available. I mean, I have what, 7 total? Yep. But I don't want to do the grand tour while it would cause me to go into a plague-stricken area. Yeah, so we will attack Flanders and then Alsace once our oath has been completed. But I will say I'm feeling much better about this game than I was 2 or 3 episodes ago when things really looked grim and I just didn't know how we were going to get stronger, how we were going to get land. Actually, when we were unlanded, we had that disastrous war against Denmark where somehow we raised our armies and they were already starving. As we moved them, they just kept decreasing in size and they got stack wiped. Obviously about the worst thing that could happen. But at least now, it looks like we're on the upswing. Of course, when you say that, is usually when something bad happens, but I think we'll be okay. Okay. Guess we'll take the risk here. That is terrible. We'll do an apathetic. I usually destroy gray or green artifacts and repair higher quality ones. That is very unfortunate. I guess we'll make him impatient. I think I really need to de-stress before I teach him anything. Let's see if we can go on a grand tour now. Be a taxation tour. Just 3 vassals available. Not really worth it. I don't think I can go on a hunt because I'm blind. We'll work off some stress if nothing else. We can go to this funeral. That should reduce our stress. And so, as we were saying, this is the character we're going to play. I mean, impatient is not a terrible trait, but it's also not a good one. Make him brave because he's a martial character. Brave is very important. And hopefully we'll be able to make him ambitious. But we'll have to see. Doing a more in here to reduce my stress. Oh boy. Great. So now the problem is wait, what's going on? Great. So I lose everything? Man. Okay, so alright. I mean, this is not good. There's no other way to put it. So originally the plan was I have my okay son here. His second son is great. Could use him to strengthen the bloodline. But now the problem is that our oldest son is now dead. Our only son left is our second son here. And if we try to force the succession, so currently we're set to play our older grandson, who, he's a learning character, which isn't great, but he's probably not going to be fighting any scourge conquerors anyway, so that's okay. But the problem is it looks like it's set up to send a whole bunch of our counties to our second son when we would want them to go to our grandson. So I think let's see if we can change that. Send more stuff to our grandson. This unfortunately is not the grandson that we want, really. We're still going to lose. Okay, so we can send him everything. Now what would be good is if we could actually marry him to someone with an intelligence trait. What we're going to see if we can do is if there is anyone who would come to our court somehow as an intelligence trait that we could then marry him to. I'm guessing not. If we were a male character, we could do some really weird stuff in terms of seducing a woman to come to our court and then seeing if we could break up with her as a lover and then marry her to our son. But since we're a woman, we can't engage in those sorts of shenanigans. Let's see here. Okay, so this might work. Obviously she's a bit older, but she is a genius. Can we arrange a marriage with her? Yes. Excellent. Okay, so it's a bit weird. It'll take another generation probably, but they will likely have children that satisfy the strength of the bloodline requirements, and more importantly, he doesn't go do something stupid and marry some commoner or someone without any traits. So of course, just as I was talking up how great everything was, something goes wrong. We have to take some time to fix it. I think we have done as good of a job as we can in terms of fixing it, and we'll just move on, and we'll increase this guy's taxes. Anyone else's taxes we can increase? Looks like no. And at least now that it looks like we are getting all of our counties and duchies to one player. I guess the other thing we could look at, we can form a hybrid culture with, that's interesting. I would have thought, oh, Norman and Franconian, so it's not actually from French directly, at least. Huh. Sure, I think we do it here. I think we, a bit odd to call it Alsatian, but whatever. Be Frankish, okay. I mean, we do get some interesting stuff here. The traditions will be the real key. Let's clear them all out. Definitely want chivalry. I think we want audacious cadets. We want castle keepers. We want hereditary hierarchy for the taxes. Chanson de geste for number of benefits. Stand and fight, stalwart defenders, very powerful. Anyone tries to invade us. And the options between astute diplomats, and seafarers. I don't think we're going to have many trade ports in the lands where this is going to be created, so I think we just go with astute diplomats. Both. Okay. So again, let's check and make sure everything is what we want. I believe it is. And there we go. Now we will control our own culture. One of the things we will do is get primogeniture quite quickly, but I think we probably won't use it until we have the next. We won't use it until we have the next generation because things are set up the way we want. And if we switch to primogeniture, who knows what'll happen. Like this for reducing stress and piety. Same thing. Want to reduce stress. Main reason we came to this. Again. So we do want to live for at least a few more years. So our also we want an Aquarian. We do want to live for a few more years, so our grandson here comes of age. Let's try to make him brave. Obviously chances aren't good, but we might as well give it a shot. So, okay, I guess no reason to try to do that. Guess we can't teach him any languages, though, because he's not a landed ruler, so, okay. Guess we'll do that. Just for the piety, really. More piety, all good. More piety, the better. One thing is you've probably noticed here, which is significant by its omission, is that the Pope will almost never give you gold. But the Pope can give you claims if you have high enough piety and he sufficiently dislikes the target. So we'll definitely take that gold. We're getting relatively close to completing our ensure peace oath, which will be good. Let's check on our grand tour again. We would have enough money to take it if it's worth doing. I mean, 4 isn't great, but let's go ahead and do it. I think we'll just leave those, and we'll need to be really careful to try to maximize the success of our tour. So what claims exactly do we have here? Well, I guess we could just try to see what happens when we fabricate one. Okay. I think we got most of the claims we need on Alsace. So as soon as our ensure peace oath is complete, attack Flanders, attack Alsace. Or Sace, as the course may be. Sure. Sure. Let's see. That's unfortunate. He has a really high martial, which counters our learning. I just don't think our other scores are that good. Yeah, so we're probably going to lose this. Now we won. Surprising. I would never guess what we were going to do. Change his contract to scutage. Also give him high taxes. That should, really significantly increase our gold. I think by 10 a month there. So very powerful. Because I think we got lucky, frankly. I think let's just avoid becoming ill. Happy to wake up this way. And we're friends with him, so now he won't join factions against us, so that's very useful. Speaking of which, let's keep an eye on them. I'm gonna keep our knight and caravan master, and she has a bunch of other positions for that matter. I do want to see if we can get her married to someone. And you can see that they barely have enough military power to generate discontent. Frankly, we could just pay them, pay off the Duchess there, and that would be it. Happy to get closer to forming a friendship with someone. What's probably going to happen here is we'll just send her a gift before we attack anyone, and that'll be that. Definitely need to replace our personal physician. Not sure how long she will last, but we will use her. End our capital isolation since there are no plagues at the moment, and we will continue on. I just like being a poet, like having stats, so give it a shot. I did become a poet, seeing how successful we can be in our tour here. Really want to get that up to 4 if we can, but we just have very few visits within which to do it. I think it's possible, but it's going to be close. Go with this top one, since the bottom one was a crapshoot. So my character is all young. I go with this one. Otherwise, the top one looks good. I think I'll still go with the lifestyle experience. I just really like lifestyle experience. probably lost some. No, I got some gold. Okay. Certainly want my gold. And it makes my tour more avaricious, which is good. Hopefully we get to 4 here. I think there's a reasonably high chance. Try the window tax. I guess let's just pay her and be done with it. Really don't want to worry about factions. Okay, we have a year left for our oath, and then we will shift from peace to war. I guess let's try it. Great. You know, I really like Renown, but obviously the big risk there is her getting wounded. We really want her to survive until, you know, this grandson, who is the heir, you know, who's going to inherit everything, comes of age. Here, don't really want to lay with anyone. Talked before about just gives, you know, secrets and hooks. It causes you to lose level devotion potentially. So this all went very well. Get this awesome modifier for 20 years, which should more than cover the rest of our lives. Let's take another look at buildings. Particularly interested in going to coronation. I think we're just too old for a university visit at this point. That is quite far away. Don't really want to do it. I think at this point we'll just wait until our oath fulfills, unless something really interesting comes up. So I've been paying attention primarily to our heir, which of course makes sense. We don't want to completely neglect, you know, our amazing other grandson that we had hoped to play, but doesn't look likely now. But again, you never know. Would not be terribly surprising to have our current heir die and then it's switched to this character. So we do want to be cognizant of that. How close are we? 74 days. I think we'll pass on the feast. I think we'll declare the war first as soon as the time for our oath is complete. And there we go. No need to go to someone's funeral. Okay, let's make sure we're max strength here. Let's attack Flanders, and I think after that, you know, this will be at the end of the episode, but we'll end it on some nice expansion here, and then we'll keep moving forward. You know, things generally went well this episode. Obviously, we had one major hiccup in terms of our heir dying. Go and call in our allies. But, you know, besides that, everything was fine. And, you know, generally speaking, the fewer successions you have, the better. And so the fact that we're going to be have a succession to such a young character who, maybe will be in his early 20s, I think probably the oldest, unless this character really survives a long time. It'll be good. I mean, it'll be quite a while before we have another succession. He'll have plenty of time to build up his power. And improve the status of the realm. Okay, that's very good. As we talked about, we're not going to make that change yet. I think court officials is just so powerful because our domain limit is so low, because since we're playing under the hardest possible rule set, part of that is playing using -3 domain limit for the player only. So in a regular game, we'd have a domain limit of 7. We'd just be much more powerful than we currently are. But that's not how we're playing. So instead we are playing with this much tougher rule set. I think we should be able to catch someone here. Maybe not. Because I became inapathetic, that makes me more susceptible to becoming malnourished. Let's go for a full feast here. Probably want to keep feasting so I don't starve myself to death. Okay. And with that, we will call the episode. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you continue to watch future episodes. I think we are on the right track now after some difficulties early in this campaign. I think it just really goes to show the challenges that you face in playing on this toughest possible rule set. So thanks again, and goodbye.